Hello and welcome to another Open the Book. It must have been really difficult for David, knowing that King Saul hated him and wanted to kill him, even when David had done nothing wrong. Sometimes he must have wanted to get his own back at King Saul. I wonder what will happen in today's story. Well, my friend Liz is here to tell it to you today, so let's open the book and read Run for Your Life.
David ran. Some of his loyal soldiers and friends ran with him. They ran up into the mountains away from the city. They ran where it was rocky and dry, where only the wild animals went. They ran and hid in caves, always moving on, afraid to stay in one place for too long. Why were they always running? Why were they hiding in the rocks and caves? Because of King Saul, because of his jealousy and fear and hatred for David. David, the hero who loved everyone and everyone loved, except for Saul. He was afraid that David would try to be king instead of him. And so he kept on and on chasing David, trying to kill him. Month after month, they went on, running, hiding, running, hiding. But David prayed. He prayed to God all the time. He prayed that God would look after him and show him what to do next. And every time Saul's soldiers drew close, God would answer David's prayer and warn him, telling him when to run and where to hide. One day, Saul found out that David was hiding in the wilderness. So he took 3,000 soldiers and set off to hunt him down. David and his loyal men ran this way and that. They found a cave they could hide in, a cave with a small entrance you hardly noticed from the outside, even though it was big inside. It was a good place for exhausted and frightened men to hide in. David kept watch, and he prayed. He asked God to show him what to do next. Hours went by, and then, down in the valley, David saw the soldiers coming, with Saul leading them. He couldn't believe his eyes. The soldiers were heading straight towards them. What should he do? King Saul called out to his soldiers, "We've lost them, men, and we'll never find them now. They must be miles away. Find yourselves somewhere to rest." David and his friends watched. They watched Saul struggle up the hillside, leaving the soldiers behind. He was coming alone, and he was heading straight towards the cave where David and his men were hiding. "Oh no," groaned David. "Why did he have to pick this cave? Quick, men, hide right at the back of the cave. He won't notice us there." "But, David," one of the men said, "surely this is the chance that you have been waiting for. Here is Saul all on his own, and he doesn't even know we are here. We could jump on him right now and kill him, and then you wouldn't have to keep running away." And he pulled out his dagger, ready to pounce. "No," said David, whispering, for Saul was now very close. "We have no permission from God to kill the king. We must not kill him, whatever he has done to us. God will take him away at the right time. But give me your dagger. I have a better plan." Saul came closer. He came closer and closer until eventually he was so close that you could even hear him yawning. Saul peered into the cave, but it was dark and he could see no one. He found a comfy spot at the front of the cave and settled down for a rest. David crept forward with his dagger in his hand. He crept forward inch by inch. What was he planning? He reached forward, carefully, carefully, and cut off a piece of Saul's cloak with the dagger. Saul didn't feel a thing, and David carefully, carefully crept back into the darkness of the cave. Saul got up and stretched. He had no idea what had happened and started walking down the hillside. When he was some distance away, David leapt out of his hiding place. "My king," he shouted, waving the piece of cloak he had cut off. "See what I have here. I was so close to you in the cave just now that I could have killed you, but I didn't. I chose to protect you. I'm not against you. I'm not a rebel. God must decide what happens to you, not me. Now, do you believe I wish you no harm?" Saul couldn't believe his ears and eyes. "Oh, David, my boy, I've been wrong all this time. You have always treated me well, even when I treated you badly. You are right with God, and one day you will make a good king." So Saul called off his soldiers and left David alone for a while.
David knew it was God who was in control and that God would deal with Saul at the right time. In the Bible, there is a section of songs called Psalms. Most of them are written by David and give praise and thanks to God. In one of them, Psalm 18, he says this: "How I love you, Lord. You are my defender. The Lord is my protector, and with you I am safe." Feeling safe is when we know we are taken care of and that no harm can come to us. Let's sit quietly and think about feeling safe. Now I'm going to say a prayer, and if you'd like to make that prayer your own, then say Amen at the end after me. Dear God, thank you that David could feel safe because of you. Thank you that we can feel safe with you. Thank you for those who work to protect people from harm. Amen. Well, I hope you enjoyed that story today, and we'll be back with another Open the Book next week.